Because I have it set like that. No, you're good right now. Yes. Yeah, I'm about to be in. I'm 90%. I'm gonna just straight up roll straight into it, and then you guys can do your segments. Yeah. I'll run the pylon for you tonight if you want. It's easier at road courses to run pylons. Okay, 1 second. I'm gonna transition now, and then you'll know when I put the info sheet when you can talk. I'm gonna go silent, just so you're tracking. Go ahead.
Green flag, green flag.
Series, you now see them working on the part of the racetrack, which is the long 1,600-foot straightaway to the back, if you want to call it the back straightaway, which then works their way back into the hairpin turn, back to now the carousel, working their way in their final part of the racetrack, and we've got Calamity already to the back. But again, as we mentioned, Michael McKinnon, no yellow flag will fly except on lap number 21. There will be 2 stages. First stage will be on lap number 10. At the completion of lap 11, the top 10 will be scored for where they were at the completion of the 10th lap on lap 11. I hope you clarify, catch on to that. The same thing will be done on lap number 20 as we complete lap number 20 on lap 21. The top 10 will be scored. However, Michael, the yellow flag will also be displayed. That is the only caution for the races. They're working around the final corners to complete lap 1 here at COTA.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I want to correct myself. I thought it was Parsons. That's Pappas up in second. He's kind of pulling away a little bit from Scruggs, seeing if he can put a little pressure on Wade here momentarily. You see Tucker, wide entry, big arc in. He's a very good road course racer. What I'm seeing is Scruggs has turned himself into quite a road course competitor as well.
Wade is going to lead the first lap here as the rest of the cavalry works their way back off that final turn down the straightaway here at COTA. Circuit of the Americas. Pappas, followed by Scruggs, Tucker, and Haney. They'll climb up the 600-foot launch of elevation into that first turn, into turn number 1 and 2. Pappas, Scruggs right there battling with each other. There's that High Rock vodka car under attack, looking inside, looking outside. Is Scruggs. All of this happening now as they get ready to work their way back again to the S's of the racetrack.
Yeah,
They can't.
People don't understand right here, Wes.
Michael Wesley.
It,
They can't hear me. I gotta transition out real fast to fix this audio. There's the driver's audio is coming through. I'm gonna transition to a commercial real quick.
all right. So we're having a little technical difficulties, everyone. So we're going to take a break, let him fix that.
Usually what I do is I go through ahead of time and turn the race chat off. Yeah, when I transition out, that's when I'm going to do it. Oh, you want to just see the race itself and not the side pylon? Oh yeah, no, this is only when I'm doing transitions. So as soon as this commercial's done, I'm gonna transition back and I'll make it big again. I just did it because I needed to fix this audio. Basically trying to mimic real world. Alright, I'm transitioning out.
In the early going for the NASCAR over-the-top Designs Xfinity Series here on this Thursday night at COTA. Of course, Wade is still the leader in the number 2. Scruggs is in second. You're seeing his car. There's Wade, the leader again. Tucker, Pappas, Haney right now the top 5. And I think honestly the smart thing to do here, Michael McKinnon, and you've been in the scenario racing many times on the NASCAR series, you got to ride and drive here. You just got to knock off laps. Am I correct? You just got to be ready to just fulfill your car out, see how it's going to handle, see what it's going to do, get through the first couple of stages, and then see where you're at in the final 20.
Oh, that's 100% right, Wesley. I mean, the key to what these guys are doing right now, they're finding their braking zones. They're finding how hard they can come off the corner. And you'll see from the first lap to lap 3 now, Wade is consistently around 218 on his lap times. Scruggs, Tucker, they're knocking it down to 219. They're just figuring out what they can do. And of course, tire wear on this place is unbelievable on the rear tires. So we'll see if they can keep the bite in the rear end here.
Wade is currently the man out in front. There you see that number 2 machine working his way around the racetrack. Of course, Ted Wade for the Upfront Motorsports Ford, number 2. Ted Wade, of course, the driver that everybody is gunning for right now. Tucker is sitting in that number 2 spot. Rhett Tucker, Scruggs is 3rd. And by the way, speaking of Rhett Tucker, you know, me and you were talking before we came on the air, Michael. You said if there's anybody that could be a threat to win here tonight at COTA, it's the man in the 99 that's in that number 2 spot right now.
Well, he was one of the people that I would have picked just because I've raced against him on road courses. I know his prowess for these things. There's several guys in the field I do not know. There's some surprise names that I'm seeing put decent lap times down. So he is always a threat. Let's just be honest about it. But yeah, he's the name. That's the one I would have picked, and him and Ted Wade. That's who we were brought up before the broadcast, and that's who we see 1 and 2 right now.
Yeah, right now those are those 2 cars that are currently right now at the top of the spot as we are in the opening laps, about to work actually 5 laps into stage number 1. Remember, for those that are watching on the NASRA 360 Racing Network, they will cross the line on lap number 10, actually working lap 11 with the completed 10th lap. Top 10 will be scored, accounted for where they were at that time. No caution will be thrown. However, there will be stage points that will be given to the winners. And then, of course, we'll reset for another stage 2. That will go to lap 21. And as Michael mentioned when we came on the air, there will be a caution thrown, basically to cut it into 2 20-lap segments of this race. However, stage 1 and 2 are broken down to 10 laps. And again, we do only think, Michael, we'll see that yellow flag that only time. And honestly, that'll make the race fly by quicker as well.
Oh, this will be a quick race. I mean, yes, it's 2 minutes a lap, so 80 minutes doesn't seem that, but that's quick for a long race. So we see everybody stretching out right now, starting to fan out. This is exactly what you expect at a place like this. These cars are so hard to get a handle on. So these guys are doing a tremendous job so far.
Right now, looking at the drivers that are on the racetrack, looks like we had close to 20 cars take the green flag. Of course, some of them unable to start the race, including Moore and LaBeouf. Of course, LaBeouf is actually the race director. Brady LaBeouf handling the events directing of this show. And there's Phil Pappas right now in the number 8 High Rock Vodka machine. Of course, you know, High Rock Vodka is a big sponsor in racing, Junior Motorsports. Dale Earnhardt Jr. and his wife Amy, and of course announced today that one of the races that I'll be announcing in February, the icebreaker for NASCAR, Dale Earnhardt Jr. will be driving one of his cars from back in the day, the Mom and Pop's car, number 8. But I'll tell you, I got a feeling coming soon. Mr. Pappas needs to show this design to Dale Jr. or Junior Motorsports. That might be a good-looking race car designed to have. And honestly, now that I think about it, Michael, it looks like the same design on the 75 of Landon Huffman, who also drives for Junior Motorsports. That was the Hickory Motor Speedway NASCAR late model champion of last year.
Yeah, it's a beautiful car. I'm not the biggest Dale Jr. fan, but I keep up a little bit. That's a beautiful car. And for Pappas, Haney, Parsons, a lot of these guys, this is what we don't, you know, a lot of guys hate these road courses. Well, some guys like them because they know this is a good day for them to pick up points. And Pappas putting a great run in, being able to pick up some points here, stay in a contention for the stage wins. Could be a big day for the number 8.
There's Parsons, I believe, one of our broadcast colleagues that I worked with last Friday night. Hunter Parsons is right now sitting in the number 6 position outside the top 5. The Cheesehead out of Green Bay, Wisconsin. And there you see his number 20 machine getting some company now from Thomas, the driver of the number 23. A little sideways there for Stephen Thomas. His Ford Mustang fighting, exiting off the corner, working his way off the rumble strips, coming back down to the final part of the racetrack before they work the front straightaway. And again, this is probably right now the best battle on the racetrack as they work turn 19 and 20 of the race course here at COTA.
Good to see Thomas. He's our Triple M Bowling Truck Series Season 5 champion. Moved up behind his hand here. He's had real good finishes, good runs at most places. And you can see the work he's been putting in on the road courses because He wasn't great. He's never been bad at it, but now he's become real stable and quite a contender on these road courses.
Yeah, working lap number 5 of 40 completed here right now as we can still watch Parsons and Thomas go at it in the top 10. This is probably the best battle that's on the racetrack. By the way, the interval, I just want to give you this. The interval right now is close to 1:37 seconds from 1st to 17th position. Cunningham 18th, the first car lap down. But honestly, you think about that, as you mentioned, Michael, a few minutes ago, there are cars scattered all over this racetrack as Thomas goes off the reservation. Yeah, look at him trying to reel back in on Hunter. As Parsons,
looking like Ross Chastain there.
Yeah, there, I was going to say that, going around there, just kind of exactly the way the Watermelon Man won his first career NASCAR Cup Series event at COTA, was doing just that. So right now, Wade Tucker, 7.50 seconds, the interval from first to second. As there is Ted Wade right now. Strong run, hitting his marks, nobody in his miss, as right now he has 4 laps to go. Michael McKinnon in stage 1 here at COTA.
He's just driving away slowly but surely. Kind of proving to me that he's not going too hard because he just continues to gap second place. We do have a good battle here with Scruggs keeping up with Tucker. He hasn't let him get out of reach very far. And you see, woo, Tucker with a big slide to the left-hander right there.
Yeah, a little loose there for Red Tucker's machine. Here comes now Scruggs, going to go back now to driver left. He'll look to make that move as they work their way to the racetrack. And here comes now Scruggs one more time, reeling in Tucker, but Tucker will stay on the top side. He will not be able to clear him. This great battle going on for the bridesmaid spot, as Michael mentioned, as now they work their way up to the carousel.
Yeah, you go on board here with Scruggs, you can see you got to break it down hard. You got to make this left-hand turn. The key to this entire turn, of course, the braking zone, he's out braking Tucker hard right there. And then the getting off the corner, it's so easy to spin around. We saw so many in the truck series go around right there, a little too much throttle. Matter of fact, it looks like Tucker may be holding Scruggs up a bit.
Yeah, it looks like Red Tucker is actually might be playing possum here, and the driver out of Memphis, Tennessee, working his way, the 99 around the corner of the racetrack, working their final corners. Back to start finish here is right now. This is the battle for the number 2 position, as Ted Wade is still the man out in front. This is Tucker, this is Scruggs. Best battle on the racetrack. The man out of Mineral Wells, West Virginia, works his way off that final turn. Turn 21, coming back up to the start finish line. And watch this now. I wonder if we could go on board with Ted Wade. Watch them climb the hill. This is a big 600-foot elevation climb, which then turns into a very sharp left-hander. And look at how hard he's on the wheel, Michael McKinnon. And then, as I told you, it drops down to a 150-foot elevation drop before you work your way back to the S's of the Speedway.
Yeah, and I was watching his tachometer as well. They're trying to see the gears. He did not get out of third gear till he almost got into the S's. I don't know if other folks are doing that. To me, that's the most stable way to come through. This is hard part of this track. You make this left, then you go up a small hill, down in a little crevasse, up, make a left. It is a tough course. Just
right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're exactly right. I mean, it's amazing. And remember, the first time we ever were introduced to this in the world of automobile cars, besides, Formula One or IndyCar back in the day, or motorcycles for that matter, COTA 2 years ago, NASCAR, the trucks and the Cup race was just a rain fest. It was in the rain. And the reason I mentioned that, Michael, is there's a lot of big rumor mills in the world of iRacing production that says that possibly in an upcoming Week 13 update that there might be rain added to racetracks, especially for road courses.
I've heard that a few times, Wesley. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how many people are going to enjoy that. Maybe the Formula One guys. I don't think the NASCAR guys are going to enjoy it. I know they didn't enjoy the deluge that year that Chase got the win. It was a little bit. That was a little too much. They needed a boat, not road tires or rain tires.
So the conversation is that possibly in the near future there will be rain added to iRacing simulation, and obviously I could see the possibility of having that for road courses. I can see it obviously for open wheel cars, but definitely for race cars of this caliber, like the NASRA the NASRA over the top designs Xfinity series, the Triple M pulling truck series, or Millie's catering restaurant cup series, something of that caliber. On road courses when they're there, yes, but I don't think we're going to see it on a place like Pocono or Daytona or Talladega or Charlotte, or any place like that for the iRacing cars. Road courses, yes, I think that's definitely going to be something that's going to go down. But I think it's going to be really cool to watch it and see how it transitions too, honestly, Michael.
I will be interested to see what it would look like in a broadcast. You know what I mean? Is it going to look like one big cloud with the spray coming off and everything? Or that'll be difficult to say. But if they think it's a good idea, they'll install it. If it's not, they'll change it in an update. So hopefully we get a chance to take a look at that at some point. That battle between Tucker and Scruggs is getting tight again.
Yeah, we're looking at this for second, and that's Trebu right there in the number 10 position right there, car number 7. And I will let you know that we're coming to the end of stage number 1. Now remember, as we mentioned here when we came on the NASRA 360 Racing Network, Michael and myself, for coverage of tonight's events at COTA for the over-the-top designs Xfinity series for NASRA, there will be 2 stages leading up to the final 20-lap stage. However, the first 2 stages will stay green flag until lap 21, and we are about to wrap up stage number 1 here in about 3 more laps or so, and Wade is the man clearly out in front. This battle, though, for second continuing. Pappas is also reeling him in along with Haney in 4 and 5. We could possibly, Michael McKinnon, see a 4-car battle for second as they work their way back into the carousel.
Yeah, he's definitely reeling them in, as well as if we look back at Parsons with Hess there, they're battling hard, 7th and 8th place. It closes in on a corner, pulls away a little bit. Both these guys are, giving it everything they got to get as many points as possible before the stage ends.
Want to remind you, tomorrow night, join us on the NASRA 360 Racing Network with coverage of round number 2 in season 6 of the Triple M Pulling Truck Series. After the wild high banks finish at Daytona, we now set our sights for the tricky triangle at Pocono for the Truck Series. Again, coverage will begin around 8:45 Eastern Time tomorrow night. Coverage again on NASRA 360 Racing Network from Pocono for the Triple M Pulling NASRA Truck Series. And we got trucks coming onto the pit lane, giving up 3rd place. Here comes Dustin Scruggs. Strategy or not, Michael, we didn't really know what it was going to be with a 60% fuel capacity for these trucks. Cars.
I think this is going to be a complete strategy call, try to flip the field after the stage. I feel like he feels if he can get some clean air on the nose, get away from Tucker, get away from it, maybe he can lead us to green after the stage. I'm hoping I'm right on that. Usually I say something I'm completely wrong, but I think I'm right on that.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Is look at the S's, the double, triple S's here. Snaking their way through the corner is, of course, Pappas. Pappas's car holding off Haney. And this is now the best battle on the racetrack for 3rd as Pappas slips. Here comes driver left, Haney to the inside. They power door to door as they work their way, with now Pappas powering back on the passenger right of the machine of Haney. Haney not going to back away. This is some fierce racing going on for 2nd and 3rd spot now, Michael, for 3rd and 4th.
Yeah, Haney looked to have all the momentum in the world, but Pappas had the preferred line right there and was able to get to the inside. We'll see what happens when they get to, the hairpin down here in a moment. See if Haney can outbrake him that hard like he did on the last one.
Wade is the man out in front. Of course, there is now Pappas in 3rd. Up in front of them is, you're seeing the rear tail lights, or the rear bumper of the number 99 of Rhett Tucker's machine, the driver from Memphis, Tennessee. There he is again, right about probably, 4 or 5 seconds back to them. 11 seconds back to the leader, Ted Wade. As right now, Ted Wade in that number 2 machine is the driver. Everybody is running down in the Upfront Motorsports Ford. As again now, Rhett Tucker in that 99 for RTR Esports. His Ford is in 2nd. Sitting in the number 3 spot, of course, is the driver of Pappas, and that is the driver of the number 8 car. That is, of course, the driver Phil Pappas for Mission 1 Esports in his Chevrolet. So a couple of Fords in a Chevrolet right now, 1, 2, and 3. Haney Thomas is your top 5, and here comes this battle now as we are also on the end of lap number 10, final lap in stage number 1, Michael, for this event for the NASRA Over the Top Designs Xfinity Series here at COTA.
Yeah, I think we need to focus on the number 3 battle there. Number 8 car, Pappas and Haney. They are going nip and tuck at this thing. Haney gets off the corner better, rotates better, just cannot get to the passing zone in the correct spot. He catches him at the wrong spot. Let's see if he can put the pressure on him real hard, see if he can force him to make a mistake.
Yeah, let's see if we can try to make it work again through the S's of the racetrack. There you see Tucker, who is second. Oh, bye-bye. Haney jumps the rumble strips, the turtles around the S's here at COTA, and he was almost sliding away airborne, if you don't mind me saying so, as this battle continues here for the final lap in stage number 1. Pappas and Haney. Haney, even though got airborne, clears Pappas as Pappas overshot the part of the course there coming off of that final part of the S's. And here you see now Haney clearing the 8 car, Michael.
Yeah, that was a great move by Haney. Good thing he didn't sustain any damage because the snapping turtle bit him. I mean, he was airborne, able to continue on at full speed, and he has really got that little nook figured out. He caught him there last time. This time he was able to dispose of him fairly quickly through there.
Climbing that higher elevation, working their way into the final parts of the racetrack in turns number 19, 20, and 21. Coming back to start finish here at COTA. Locking up the brakes is going to be Pappas' car. He can't reel in Haney, as by the way, the leader, Ted Wade, works his way off of the final corners. There you see the driver of the number 2 Ford. He is going to come to the line this time by after this final turn and work his way back to start finish as the winner of stage number 1. However, usually you're used to the weekend on the afternoon NASCAR national schedule, or even on our coverage of NASRA, seeing the yellow flag fly at the end of the stages after the top 10 cross the scoring line. That will not be the case for this race, as right now the leaders come to the line. It's Ted Wade. He will win Michael McKinnon stage number 1. Tucker, by the way, giving up second spot. He will come to the pit lane in the 99. So will also Pappas. This also happens while everyone else is completing stage 1. Haney now from 5th to 2nd. He'll take second place points in stage number 1. And again, we've got another 10 laps to stage 2 before the yellow flag flies.
And I'll tell you what I'm interested in. Scruggs worked his way all the way back to 6th, and we know he pitted 2 laps ago. Several cars got by, and he has already worked his way back to 6th, back to 5th now with guys on the pit. So that may have just been a great move for him to get big time points in this stage.
And by the way, you're exactly right, Michael. He was in outside the top 10. He was at least going to be in 9th to get stage points, so he did at least get 1 or 2 points. Now, after it's all said and done, before the cars that pitted cross the scoring loop, he goes from now 9th to 3rd in that number 11, and Scruggs was at least, if they're following the NASCAR stage points for NASRA, he will go get 8 points. 8 points for Scruggs at the end of stage number 1 for that number 11. There's Tucker. Don't count him out. He gave up second when he came to the pit lane at the end of stage 1. And Michael, he comes still on racetrack just now in the top 5.
Yeah, I'm looking at the splits right now. I think time on pit road is going to be somewhere in the 40 to 43 second range. So when Wade pits, you might see it. He's going to come out somewhere around 5th, 6th position. And then we'll see how quickly he can make his way back toward the front once he's able to make his pit stop.
Here's a look at strategy, and obviously it says 0 because you're thinking, honestly, any minute now, he is going to have to come to the pits, no doubt about it. I'm thinking the next lap or 2, maybe even this lap for Wade, because he has literally used up all of that. He's about used up all of his fuel. And remember, they only started this race with a 60% fuel capacity.
No, I think you're 100% right there, Wesley. It's yeah, I think he's going to have to pit now.
Here he comes.
Because yep, here he comes. Otherwise, he was going to lose too much time without the tires, and you're going to need the full tank. Get it in here and see what he can salvage for points on this stage.
And possibly might have ran out of fuel. Remember also now, Haney has not pitted in car number 78. He will not pit this go around. So he will now cycle up as the new leader in the number 78 machine. Actually, Haney might have pitted and I didn't catch it. My apologies. As right now, Haney, Wade, Scruggs, Hess is now pitting. Tucker is pitting. And Michael, you are telling me that Haney did pit.
I believe he did. But I don't think he did.
I don't think he's pitted either.
I don't think he did. I don't see the split. And his split from Scruggs isn't as much as it should have been if he did pit. So let's see what happens right here, because I'm not sure. I did not catch it.
Might just be a lap for Haney to lead to get some points here, and obviously be the car up in front is Haney. Does it again. He jumps over the turtles. The darn turtles in the way. The turtles here, and by the way, that's real life. You see that happen at COTA a lot. You see it happen at road courses a lot. And like I said, I just think this is awesome that iRacing, the virtual sim for NASCAR, can literally mimic what the real deal is here. And we just saw that happen. Not once now, Michael McKinnon, but twice, 3 times he might be up on his lid.
Oh, yeah. I mean, thank God I didn't hit one of those during the race. I've hit several practicing, and I cannot explain to you how it just takes your breath away for a moment. Knocks the wheel out of your hand almost. It's unbelievable how much lift you get. I'm interested to see what Haney does here. I really am. I don't think he's pitted yet, and you see Wade's already moved back into second.
That's right.
So he had built such a lead that he may have only just took fuel. We don't know. I didn't see it down there, but he is already back to second place. Such
Keith
a
Haney.
strong run.
Yeah, Keith Haney, the leader for Upfront Motorsports in the Ford number 78, of course, as Michael mentioned. He is the guy out in front. Ted Wade in the number 2. He pitted as the leader at the end of stage number 1 at the completion of lap 11, working lap 12. And now he is in the second position. That shows you again just how good that race car was. How big of an advantage and interval he had over second place of Haney. And of course, he is now right there after pitting in that number 2 position also on track. Haney crosses the line. He will not pit again. He now works lap number 12 completed in stage number 2 now of this race. 8 to halfway, Michael McKinnon. And again, Keith Haney is the man that everybody's watching for. His biggest enemy, I think, is himself, and going through the S's on those turtle rumble strips.
Yeah, if he can miss the turtles, stay out of the lake a little bit, right? Just stay out of the lake. Keep it on the road there. I think it'd be okay, but I'm sitting watching the interval. Wade knocked 2 seconds off of him. He gapped Scruggs by 2 seconds already. It's incredible. He's got this car just absolutely on rails right now.
Yeah, it's amazing the drive he's got right now, as Haney is the driver that is leading the way right there. That third Rock Enterprises entry, number 78 Ford, leading the charge. Beautiful looking race car, might I add, man. That's a nice looking race car. And Haney is the driver everybody's gunning for. It's Keith Haney, Ted Wade, Mr. Scruggs right there in third spot. There you see the 11.99 is Tennessee's Rhett Tucker in the Malware Bites Ford. And Pappas is there in the top 5. Pappas, the High Rock Vodka, number 5 machine, top 5. Thomas is sitting in the number 6 position as we're showing you the cars on the racetrack. 7th is Hunter Parsons. 8th is Mr. Hess right there behind him. 9th is Thornton, and Caston is currently your top 10. Looks like Caston's got some problems on the racetrack in 10th place there, Michael.
Yeah, Caston's one of those guys I would have thought would have been pretty good at this, because he's really good on the ovals, but he looks like he's got some damage on the rear. He's got some big issues going on with the car right now.
Yeah, it looks like right now the interval from the first to the top 10 for the leader of Keith Haney down to Caston in 10th is 1.15 seconds. That's 1 minute 16 seconds now. 1 minute 16 seconds. The interval now from first to 13th, 2 minutes and 11 seconds. 2 cars on the lead lap currently is Codwell in 42 and Cunningham in 9. Duke, Barnett, and Margarani are all tracks that are off the racetrack Moore and LaBeouf, of course, are working race directing. Here comes Haney now, coming onto the pit lane, Michael. We figured this pit stop would happen right here at the end of the middle of stage number 2, might I add.
Very interesting with Haney. He made it to lap 13, starting 14. That means he can do this race on 2 stops. But I don't know how he wants to figure this strategy when we're going to stop on lap 20 anyways. But I think he had it figured where he can do it in 2 stops. Maybe he didn't know how this was going to break down tonight. That may not help him at all.
So my thing is this: if he goes in on lap number 13 or 14, if you're thinking he's going to go that would be 28 laps. That would be at least 2 stops. Lap 28 would take him all the way to the finish to lap number 40. And the positive knowing thing is you know that you've got a destination endpoint in road course racing, Michael, and that is we're not going to go to overtime. There's not 2 or 3 attempts at an overtime or a green-white checker. You know on lap number 40, you're coming to the checkered flag. That would be another reason maybe why he tried to make the strategy of doing the 2 pit stops.
That very well could be. I mean, I guess he might want to stay out and just pit earlier than everyone. I don't know. I think it's going to throw a wrench in it. You see what the new tires are doing for him here. He's going to easily dispose of Pappas again, I think, even though Pappas is going to make it a little hard on him.
Yeah, this is for 3rd, believe it or not. This is even after Pappas going high. Here comes now Haney. Keep Haney down to the inside. Driver left, working off of that part of the chicane. And he will clear the Pappas machine and put him back into the number 4 position as they work their way, climbing back up the hill, working their way on what is the 1,600-foot long part of the racetrack that you would call the back straightaway, if you will, here at Circuit of the Americas in virtual Austin, Texas. It is right now where they are currently turning. And again, a sharp left, moving their way back to the carousel. And again, all the while, it is still Wade leading. This battle continues for 4th and 5th.
Yeah, I'm seeing the gap between Scruggs and Wade. It's kind of stabilized. Scruggs may have figured out a little bit of something there. It was constantly building. Now it's stabilized about 4.5 seconds. You see Tucker at 13 seconds, so he has actually picked up a little time on Wade from where he was, 3-4 laps ago. So this is going to get real interesting the last 20 laps.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right on that. Right now we watch now Scruggs working his way. He is the driver in the number 2 spot. There he is in the 11 Chevrolet. Good strong run. Got a couple of cars turned around there on the top of the hill coming off of the entrance of turn 1.
Yeah, I couldn't quite tell who it was there. I'm looking to see if anybody's falling away. I can't see.
Thinking it might have been Talley, possibly. Maybe the 30 car.
Maybe Zach Talley. That's possible. He's back there stuck in the mud, about 2 minutes and 9 seconds behind. So he's in danger of going to lap down here pretty soon. Wade just absolutely dominating performance thus far. I don't know what anybody's really going to have for him, but I'm waiting to see.
Man, what a strong run for the driver, of course, of Ted Wade. Again, that strategy coming to the end of stage number 1. He made sure he completed that lap to get the stage points. Then, when they were beginning the next lap of stage number 2, which, mind you, usually in stage racing, like you see on NASRA and for NASCAR and other events, you see the yellow flag thrown at the completion of the stage breaks, but not the case for this event. As again, top 10 at the end of lap 10, working lap 11 were granted stage points. Ted Wade got the stage win, and now he is trying to now sweep stage number 1 and stage 2 to look for a checkered flag. And I find it fitting, Michael, that you said, watch Ted Wade, watch Rhett Tucker. Those drivers right now comfortably look great in stage 1, stage 2, halfway in the stage 2, 5 laps to halfway, mind you, as well. They are right now in the top 3. And Scruggs has got a really strong race car also right between them in the number 2 spot.
Yeah, Dustin's really impressed me. He has ran with us since the very beginning of Nazareth. The improvement has been astronomical. I had not got to see him on a road course in a long time, and I am thoroughly impressed on the run he's putting together right now. Looking for battles right now, and everybody's just kind of spread away So as we got 5 to go before the end of stage 2.
Yes, exactly, and what a strong run. We're going to go to a commercial break at the end of stage number 2 to reset things and get you set for that finals 20-lap battle. And again, right now, it is all Mr. Wade leading the charge, as all the while it is a strong run by Ted Wade in that number 2. Scruggs is in second. Look at them working their way through the S's again. What a strong effort by, again, this number 2 car. Yeah, listen, I know we've seen Haney lead a couple of laps, honestly, Michael, but the cream of the crop right now, hands down, is this number 2 Ford of Ted Wade. He is the car to win. But of course, I know I say this as we approach halfway, but this is road course racing. It is a long way to go, a short time to get there, but I promise you we will be on lap number 40 very quickly also.
Absolutely. It goes by quicker than you think unless you're in the car. It seems like it's forever. And we're talking about Wade. He won 6 races last year, maybe 7 in the truck series. We knew his dominance showed up. We went to Sonoma, and he just put the butt whipping on him and Bradley. And Clean Cart had big battles, but in the end, Wade wins. We come to COTA. I believe he won the race at COTA as well. If not, he was second. But I think he got the win there. So we knew his road racing prowess is very, very high, and he's obviously got a real good feel on exactly how much power he can put down in braking zones thus far, because it's been a clinic he's put on thus far.
25 laps to go, 5 laps remaining, by the way, in stage number 2, and halfway in this race as well. Welcome to coverage of the NASRA 360 Racing Network, coverage of the NASRA Over the Top Designs Xfinity Series tonight from the COTA Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas, on the virtual iRacing simulators sanctioned by the North American Sim Racing Association. I am Wesley Outland, joined alongside is Michael McKinnon. And man, I'll tell you what, Michael, this has been a very interesting race. Again, as I am filling in for our colleague on vacation of, I believe it is Tyler Dittmer. No, my apologies. Who am I filling in for? He's on vacation for the week. Is it Will?
Will Tiller.
Will Tiller. I'm filling in for Will. There you go. Filling in for Will. Yes, sir. And I worked with Will and Hunter last Friday night for the Triple M Pulling Daytona race. I'll be on the call for that race tomorrow night as well. Filling in for Will. Will's on vacation. I worked with, I believe it was Tyler Dittmer on Monday night for the Truck Series race there with the Sim Racers Hub Truck Series. And Michael, as you know, me and you've known each other for a good couple of years during the pandemic. It's awesome to see you still showing your strengths in the broadcast booth as well, running NASRA when you can, my friend.
Yeah, I don't know how much strength I have here or in the truck, but I'm going to miss tomorrow night, and I'm devastated over missing tomorrow night. That's one of my absolute favorite tracks with Pocono, and I practiced so hard, and I'm going to end up missing it. So maybe I'll jump in the booth with you guys tomorrow.
Hey, we'd love to have you. That'd be awesome. Joining us tomorrow night, Hunter Parsons and myself. I will actually be in beautiful Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge, Tennessee tomorrow night by the time we transfer here tonight. And what's so crazy, people, is Michael McKinnon is probably not even 15 minutes from my broadcast location in Clayton, North Carolina. He is nestled at a truck stop. Okay, not a truck stop. A rest area in his truck.
Close enough.
Off of I-95, I-40 in North Carolina, and we're literally like 15 minutes from each other. I like Brady LaBeouf's convo before we came on the air. We need to just meet up and go to Waffle House after the race.
I think that's a good idea. We'll get some covered and smothered and talk about how we did. That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, when he told me he was literally like 15, 20 miles from Raleigh, I was like, really? I live like 20 miles outside of Clayton. So, yes, it's great to have him, though. By the way, we're done, John. Let's go back to some of the on-track activity because, honestly, there really is not much happening. All the while, it is still Ted Wade leading. You see him cross the line, up the hill. 3 laps to go here in stage number 2, and it is the number 2 Ford right there. Just sheer domination by Ted Wade. Oh, a little slip there for a minute. But honestly, he can make that mistake because he's got so much of a big lead, Michael McKinnon, over Scruggs, Tucker, Haney, and company in the top 5.
Yeah, these guys are going to have to make a decision on pit road. And you see Haney coming in early now, so that strategy we talked about before, that's out the window. He is going to pit for track position, hopefully at the end of the stage here, if everybody else will stay out. But it's just been a butt whooping thus far. I don't know how else to put it down. Wade has been perfect, and these guys are going to have to change some strategy. They're going to have to take fuel only and hope the tires hold. I don't know what to tell them to do. Maybe, I don't know, just getting away, right?
That's exactly right. Right now, what a strong run he's got going is currently Tucker sits in that number 3 position. There you see now Hunter Parsons. Parsons obviously joined me in the broadcast, or I joined him in the broadcast booth for NASRA last Friday night at Daytona for the Triple M Pulling Truck Series. He was going to work the Monday event, then he decided that he wanted to race instead, and he made the decision to run. Set fast time, was quick on the pole in the truck race at Homestead, but Michael, then he started to fall back. He's actually got a pretty good strong run here tonight right now in the number 7 position.
Yeah, I'm actually proud of him because earlier in the week he was protesting this track hard. It was one of those, it's one of those, can we not run, expletive, I can't make a lap, expletive. So I'm proud of him, staying on course, top 10, keep it clean. That's what they always say, right? Keep it on the track, and you'll usually get a good finish out of it.
Working the end of stage number 2. There's again that High Rock Vodka Chevrolet Camaro of Mr. Pappas right now. Pappas's car comfortably in the number 4 position. And we mentioned, obviously, we're going to get a yellow flag here at the end of stage number 2. At halfway, there's Thomas's car. By the way, as Haney is on pit lane, you see his car still on the pit lane. This is a rather lengthy pit stop for the number 78 machine. I'm wondering, Michael, there might be something wrong with the 78 car of Keith Haney.
Yeah, it's a very extended stop. Something has obviously went amiss on that car. Hopefully he can get it back underway soon, but you'll see now, I mean, still on pit road. He's got something major wrong going on.
Yeah, there's something serious going on with the driver, the number 78 of Keith Haney. Whatever strategy we thought he was going to be playing might not be for naught, as he has now come to the pits. He has now lengthy been on the pit lane for over probably close to 2 minutes now. He is going to fall a lap down, as now there you see Pappas's car, and he looks like he is also fighting some handling issues, trying to work his way around the carousel and the chicane and the bus stops and all that good stuff here on the road course at COTA. There you see now Thomas's car in the top 5. And while Pappas is having his problems here, it looks like, Michael, Thomas is starting to reel him in.
Yeah, Thomas is reeling him in a little bit. Scruggs has actually reeled in Wade a little bit. I think we're starting to see the rear grip going away. You see a lot of people loose. Just overdriving just a bit. But that's what you want to do when you see them. There he is ahead of me. I got to go get him. So you overdrive a little bit and spin the rear tires where you shouldn't. And it's starting to cost a couple guys a little time.
Good solid run again for the driver of the number 2 of Ted Wade. There is Scruggs in that number 2 position. The 11 almost looked like from that camera angle he overshot the racetrack. But he sits comfortably right there in that number 2 spot. Now less than 5 seconds back to the leader of Ted Wade in the number 2. And by the way, they are coming to the end of 3 laps to go here in stage number 2. 20 laps again will be halfway, and at the completion of 19 to go, or excuse me, at the completion of the working 19 to go, lap 21, the top 10 will be scored, and then the yellow flag will be thrown. So again, right now, it is Wade, Scruggs, Tucker, Pappas, Thomas. There's your top 5. And all the while, we've seen some drivers behind the leader have their share of problems, Michael McKinnon, but for the most part, man, this number 2 car has been off the rail strong all night here at COTA. There you see him again in his own little world. Nobody is around him. Maybe made that one little slip coming off of the first turn off the elevation climb. Other than that, working through the S's now, his car is just nipped up shape, and he is the man to beat right now in this stage, closing into the final laps of stage 2.
Yeah, he's just been baby oil smooth. I mean, almost just no mistakes, great pace. great everything. Like I said, somebody's going to have to turn the tables with strategy. But the problem with that at this point, if he pulls out to another 5-6 second gap and someone pits, I don't know if it's going to help him a bit. He is just that strong. The top three are just in a different zip code than fourth on back at this point.
Hey, I want to send a hello to Keith Bradley. Hey, Keith Bradley, the animal out of Lawrenceburg, Indiana, and With Fear Gaming says, it's Wesley. Hey, buddy, hope you're doing well. Whoever With Fear Gaming is. So thank you for tuning in. Betty Francis says, go Ted. Keith Bradley says, great broadcast, fellas. Mike and Wesley are killing it. I'm headed back to bed. COVID is kicking my ass. See y'all tomorrow night, I hope. Well, I hope you, by the way, that's his quote, not mine. And I hope you get feeling better, Keith. That sucks being sick. The animal has COVID? Oh, no, that's bad.
Yeah, feel better, Keith. I know you posted you was trying to get an IV for tomorrow night, so let's see if you can get that done. If not, prayers out to you and your wife. I know you both got it. Hopefully you can withstand and get through it, my friend.
I was going to say the offer would be extended to have him in the broadcast booth, but not with COVID. There's no telling what he'll sound like.
You sound about like me on most days, right? He'll laugh at that because he knows I'm right.
Hello, With Fear Gaming says I drive for the Triple M series in the number 20 truck. Nice to see you guys out there. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. And by the way, don't forget the NASRA Triple M Pulling Truck Series, where it all got started for NASRA. Kicks off there again. Second race of their sixth season tomorrow night. Pocono. Michael, you were at Daytona, man. It was crazy down to the end there whenever you got caught up in that calamity.
Yeah, I know my team leader there, Brady, told us we needed to all go to the back, but I felt good in the front until 3 wide with about 8 to go. Yeah, she all went sideways. We blew an engine as soon as we hit the wall, and that was the end of that. But overall, it was a pretty good race and a huge field.
Yeah. And by the way, I think about this, and I thought about it for this week as well, coming into tonight's Xfinity race. By the way, we're 1 lap to go here in stage number 2 with Wade the leader as they work their way part of the back straightaway part of the racetrack, the 1,600-foot straightaway here at COTA, as he's about to put a wrap on this one and take this to the finish of stage number 2 and reset for the final stage of the race to the checkered flag. I will say this as well, Michael. Good racing, good hard racing. I think there might have been 2 cautions that happened at the Daytona truck race on Friday night. 1 yellow flag besides the stage caution in the races for the Sim Racer Hub Truck Series on Monday night at Homestead. I think it's awesome to see the respect that is given by all of you guys that race on the NASRA circuit.
Yeah, we all try to, and then once in a while we get a little rambunctious, but overall, having the no fast repairs, I think, is what makes it what it is, right? It discourages guys from just throwing it in there. So, but yeah, we've all raced together for so long, and we enjoy everyone. And say hello to Jose Luis Rivera there. If
Caution out.
Number 20, that's who that'll be. So end of stage 2, finally upon us.
So the caution flag will fly, as we mentioned, with Fear Gaming. To answer your question, that's the reason why they threw the yellow flag. Obviously, the yellow flag is displayed. We're at the end of stage number 2, and they're going to come to the line here now, which I think maybe the yellow flag might have got thrown a little prematurely because we were told it was going to be 19 to go once the top 10 crossed the scoring loop. Then they throw a caution. But honestly, let's be honest here. As they work their way around the final corners of the racetrack, I'll be honest with you, Michael, they're really, who cares if they throw the caution, because Wade and everyone else had such a big lead in the top 10. Nobody was really racing each other for a position.
Well, that's 100% right. And we saw the gaps coming down. I think maybe this was a call to keep everybody from this. I don't know how to explain it. When you get a caution here, it may take 3 to 4 laps, which is about 12 minutes to get through this. So I think they had this planned so that they get the field together, and this will not take forever long to get done.
Well, we are going to recharge our batteries, and we will get you set for the second half of this race for tonight's event with the Circuit of the Americas, NASRA on the 360 NASRA Racing Network for the Over the Top Designs Xfinity Series. Michael and myself will give you the first half analysis, the first stage twos, stage one going to Ted Wade, pit stops and more after an extended commercial break. This is NASRA on the NASRA 360 Racing Network from COTA. We are back in a moment.
You are. Probably like another 30 seconds. Yeah, go for it. Bidding right now. Ooh, yeah. Let's do it.
Welcome back, and as we get you ready for what will be the final stage number 3, Wesley Outland, Michael McKinnon alongside. Thanks to Cody Knott working on the production side of things. And by the way, I want to also mention our thoughts and prayers are with our regular producer for the series. That Michael, I think you got a little bit more information on it. The world of truck driving is not fun, and I think something like that nature happened to our producer that was supposed to be working with us tonight, Mr. I believe it's was it T.J. Moore? I believe it was.
Nope, Tim Hammond.
Oh, Hammond.
Tim
Okay.
Hammond using. Yep, he usually does these, and he had a breakdown. It wasn't an accident, as far as I know. Had a breakdown, was not able to get home with the family tonight to take care of this stuff. So we appreciate Cody jumping on last minute. If you guys, there's a lot of work goes into this stuff, and Cody got pulled in at the very last minute. So hopefully it's all working out well, and you guys are enjoying the show so far.
Yes, thank you very much, and again, appreciate right now the yellow flag coming out for this second stage completed. We're working now stage number 3 with Ted Wade leading. Yes, Cody, good to see. Yes, power and internet back. Michael, I don't know if you were in the Carolinas yesterday, buddy, but it was storming and it was raining and there was just a lot of crazy wind. And the power got knocked out at my house. And I'm not going to lie to you, at the completion of my Finish Line Fox Sports radio show, as well as on LSR TV Productions, I fell asleep. I took a cat nap. And the next thing I know, when I woke up, there was no power. And then when I finally fell back in sleep and woke up again, the power was on and it was 9 o'clock. So, yes.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, pretty crazy with the weather yesterday. And you know, they're calling for snow in North Carolina this weekend. So that's the reason I'm getting out of here and going to Georgia and Tennessee. They're calling for snow here.
I drove through snow through Tennessee, a little bit around Asheville today, and it opened up. Skies were blue, and it was nice from there on. But yeah, yesterday morning at my house, we were supposed to get 3 to 5. We didn't. We got a little slush.
Yes.
Temperature stayed up just enough where it was able to traverse the roads.
Yeah, the weather has been without a doubt the weather has been without a doubt very crazy this year for sure. I mean, you know, we went from 75 degrees the other day to down to 40s tonight. Supposed to be in the 40s for a high tomorrow, down in the 20s tomorrow night. Chance of snow and ice in the Carolinas. And of course, yesterday we had a chance of thunderstorms and tornadoes and everything else. So,
yeah.
But well, let's get back to this race, though. Honestly, Michael, it has been the Ted Wade show, and nobody has stopped the number 2 car. He has surely dominated here in the first 2 stages at COTA.
Okay, now there was a couple things I noticed. He did dominate, absolutely. But here's what I noticed. After that first initial burst off of stage 1, he built a lead. Most of stage 2, after the pit stops, Scruggs was able to keep the gap right around 5 seconds, which is about where he started the gap. So he was able to manage the gap. So I'm real interested to see if he's learned something and he can keep pace with Wade here, maybe put a little pressure on him, force him to make a mistake. Because unless somebody does that, it's a foregone conclusion in my mind. He is just way too strong today.
Well, we'll see how this all develops as finally the lights have gone off on the pace car at the flag stand, and we are setting them up now for the restart in stage number 3. By the way, there will be 16 laps to go in stage number 3. Your first 2 stage winners, of course, were Ted Wade, and now we find out who will be the winner for the checker and for the money in this series. Michael, obviously this is my first time in the booth for the NASRA Xfinity over-the-top design series, filling in again for of course, Will Tiller. What has been some drivers on this series that we have to keep an eye on for sure? Not just in the road course level, but obviously on the racetrack as well for this Thursday night tour.
Well, so far we've seen David Duke win. He's awesome at super speedways. We've seen Hank Caston win. Saw Kerry Trabue take the win at Phoenix. But Wade, Tucker, Scruggs, Thomas, they're always running around the top 5 or 6, along with Thornton. He's always up there. These are just some of the names off the top of my head. Hess, pardon me, always strong. So the ones we're used to seeing, they're up there right now. For the most part, they're all up there.
So it's not a fluke that these drivers that are up in the front because it's a road course or not, or the ones that are dominating. These are the guys that have literally been in the catbird seat for the entire series so far this year.
Yeah, for the most part, these are the names we say, except for Andrew McGronigle. He must have had some trouble at the first of the race. We see him in 18th. He has been strong at every track. He's been snake bit every week. And, of course, Haney, not sure what happened to him, still showing him on pit road. So something probably at home happened to him there. But, yeah, the guys we see are the guys we're going to see, I feel, most of the year. That's who we've seen so far.
So let's set it up for you. Wade and Scruggs will be on the front row. Thomas and Pappas will be on row number 2. Hess and Tucker will make up row number 3. Parsons, Trebu will make up row 4. Medina, Thornton, row 5. Of course, row number 6 will find Caston and Talley. Row number 7 will be Codwell and Cunningham. However, they are in the back, 2 laps down each. A couple of cars on the pit lane include Haney. Duke Barnett is out. Margiani is out, as, of course, Michael mentioned. And we get ready for the green flag to fly. And this is the reason why we said that, it takes at least 3 or 4 minutes under caution to make a lap around the 22-mile or 22-turn circuit of the Americas, as we'll try to get ready for a restart here, Michael.
Yeah, this was as quickly as the guys could get it done. Well, we know the audience doesn't like to see the pacing laps, but this is just part of the road course experience. And like I said, I'm interested to see what Scruggs can, if he can get off turn 1 well, and if he can keep pace with Wade for a little while. He was able to manage a gap before. I want to see if he can do it again.
Ready for the field to come back for the restart. You're going to see the pace car make that veer off to the left-hand lane to pit lane right here in just a few moments as they work those final corners. 17 remaining, 16 to go when they come back to the Geico restart zone, and we set them up here for stage number 3. This will be the run to the checkered flag to finish to decide who will win here tonight for the NASRA over-the-top designs Xfinity series here on the NASRA 360 Racing Network. As right now the pace car lights are off, a couple more corners to go. Wade and Scruggs ready to send it off whenever they work their way back to green. And again, this is going to be the restart of all restarts to see how this transpires, because anybody's got a shot, Michael, if you can hang with them to try to pull an upset win here.
Yeah, Scruggs cannot let him get away right here off of turn 1. We know he's got the preferred line, but he cannot let Wade shoot away, quickly. And also, as we get ready to take the green, and Wade gets a good restart, no tire spin, but Pappas got a great start as well. Scruggs did not.
Yeah, what a great restart on the inside lane. Scruggs on the outside lane did not fire. He had big trouble up the 600-foot climb elevation into turn number 1, the sharp left-hand turn. They all clear it perfectly. A couple of cars were on the binders, but look at Pappas. See you close in and cut off Parsons' car, if you will. Thomas is also in this mix. All of this working their way as now they snake through the S's, working now in multiple S corners. All the while, Wade, same old song and dance, right back out in front again there, Michael, as they work turn number 7 and 8.
Yeah, Wade with a great start. I don't know exactly what happened to Scruggs there, but that allowed Pappas and Thomas to both overtake him. So now it's going, got a little bit, turtleback bit Wade right there. These things are just a handful, especially on these new tires. One other thing to think about, Wesley, is we saw Haney go 13 laps the first time. I don't think any of these cars can make this without at least one pit stop. So I'm interested to see when that will start.
I don't know if you saw that or not, but shades of what happened many times with Haney is now happening with Wade, where he literally was airborne, hitting the turtle rumble strips, and the car was just up in the air. Come back down on all fours, but you got to wonder now if he's going to be in trouble, because here comes Pappas now, looking driver left to the lead, locks up the wheels, is going to be Ted Wade. He shoots the gap. Here comes Pappas to the inside. He'll go to the lead. They battle now, side by side, Pappas and Wade. Here comes now Thomas in the battle. They try to make it 4 cars. If Scruggs can get in that mix as they work their way off the carousel.
Yeah, and we see Pappas get loose there. He hit the chicane with the braking. This is what we talked about. Put some pressure on some guys. Make them look in the mirror. not just run pace laps. And Pappas getting loose there, that allowed Wade to get back away from him and negotiate the corner a little better. But these three behind are going as hard as they can possibly go, and they need to get pressure back on Wade quickly.
And just like that, Wade was under attack, and now he pulls away, scampers from the field, and he pulls back to the top spot by now almost a second, as Pappas now has some company from Thomas, Scruggs, Parsons, top 5, 15 to go. Here at COTA, they climb the elevation hill up into turn number 1, Michael.
Yep, big left-hander here. Nobody's jumping out of line. Thomas able to outbrake Pappas a little bit there. I just don't know where Wade is getting such a big advantage. Maybe right here. This is a very technical section. I'm going to watch the gap as they come through here. He's able to pull a 10th, 2 tenths, 3 tenths. This is where he is just absolutely dominating everyone. It's a 10th every little corner. These guys have got to figure out a better way to get through here.
By the way, I want to send a thank you to Betty Francis. I just finally saw the comment. Wesley, you make every race interesting when you are doing the broadcast. I love it. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Also enjoying the great work working alongside with Michael McKinnon. The other night I got to work with, of course, Tyler Detter, and he was very excited to be able to join me in the booth. And of course, it was a fun time working with Tyler Dittmer on Monday night, and of course Hunter Parsons and William Tiller, and I am filling in for William. I am just right now filling in as he is on vacation. I'll be there tomorrow night for the truck series, but you know, for the most part, I always enjoy what Nazar's done and what, you know, Michael McKinnon and what Brady LaBeouf, now Brady's doing at the helm and doing a phenomenal job, and thank you so much for the kind words. It is 15 working to 14 laps to go. About a lap or so ago in this same location, Wade was under attack. That is now balanced out to now, Michael, a 2.2 second lead. Look at the difference now a lap makes. Oh, and by the way, massive cloud cover over the virtual sim of COTA as we speak. That's also got to be a monkey wrench on these cars too to the finish.
Yeah, 100%. That will change the handling on all these cars. We talked about it at Phoenix. People think sunshine's a terrible thing. Sometimes it's good. It gets a lot more grip into the tires, and then when it cools off, it just loses a little grip level. Everybody seems to be negotiating it real well, but Pappas is just driving for all he's got right now. Four-wheel slide in this car. Just tremendous drive out of Pappas so far.
What a performance for the driver there of Wade. There you see the interval now as they cross the line. 2 seconds for Pappas now. Thomas to third, 3.5 seconds back, followed by Scruggs in fourth, 4.5 seconds back, 4 seconds back, and now 7.5 seconds back is Mr. Parsons, as he right now, Hunter Parsons, is in the top 5. They work their way back to the S's around the racetrack here. Things coming down, obviously. You got to wonder, Michael, they pitted, yes. Can they go to the finish, or do you think they've got to make another pit stop to go to the checker flag, bud?
I think they got to go at least one more time. Like I said, we saw Haney push it to 13 laps, the start of lap 14. I'm going to guess that's about as far as they can go with a 60% fuel load, which we haven't even discussed. 60% fuel load. These cars are already loose enough, and as it burns the fuel off, lighter rear end on these cars, they just get looser and looser and looser. It's just something they all have to fight, as we see Thomas taking away second place from Pappas.
So if you have ever seen the Cup or the trucks run it at COTA in real life, they run obviously 100% fuel capacity. The average, and I'll just say, let's throw this out there, not for a Cup car, because Cup car, next-gen car, totally different animal than an Xfinity. Maybe the trucks could be close to a sequence. The trucks on a full 100% fuel load can run between 18 to 22 laps around COTA on a fuel program if the strategy was 100% fuel. Now, you take away and only have 60% for this series for tonight at COTA, Michael McKinnon. We saw cars come into the pit lane by the end of 8 to 10 laps. We saw pit stops. So you got to wonder, as we saw some come to the pit lane with what, less than 18, 19 to go, will they be able to stretch it to the finish Or are they going to have to come to the pits with maybe less than 5 laps remaining, and it will be a green flag pit stop?
Well, considering they also did about 3 laps of pacing, 2 laps at least, I still say they're going to come, and I think you'll see that within the next 3 to 4 laps. I think you're going to get someone trying to undercut. Is this Pappas going back for it? He's going to slide it in hard on Thomas. Able to outbrake him there, but I don't know if he can
For
outsell
second.
it.
This is for second. Thomas and Pappas going at it. Best battle on the speedway here. And you know, Michael, you mentioned the word undercut. That's normally an analogy that's used in open wheel racing, not very much in stock cars, especially on the road course. But yeah, the undercut means try to take the advantage from somebody else to be there to pull the upset victory.
That's right. You pit before them, and you take advantage of the new tires for as long as you can to make up the time and hopefully make up the distance before they pit. That's what we're talking about when we say undercut. This is a great battle going on. Thomas able to out-accelerate Pappas, but Pappas able to outbrake him at almost every corner.
Michael, I got an extended question with this. If you're behind Ted Wade, if you see him pit, do you pull off and pit with him?
I don't think that gains you anything. I think if he's smart and pits before you, you might want to just see if you can gain something on him and hope he makes a mistake. I think if you do the same thing he does, you're going to get the exact same result. Well, they say that's insanity, right? Expecting a different result, doing the same thing over and over. I think you're going to have to do something drastically different than what he's doing.
Mimicking, if you will. Obviously, look at this battle. Almost some contact made there as Pappas and Thomas battle with each other now. Locking up the tires is going to be Pappas's car as they work their way back around to the part into the front of the front stretch here at COTA. All the while, you see this battle going on for second and third. And while this takes place, Michael, with 12 laps to go when they come to the line, there is absolutely no leader in sight. Ted Wade is gone like a deer in the headlights.
Yeah, you just mentioned a moment ago, Wesley, he was 2 seconds ahead. Well, that's went to 6.5. So as these guys battle, Ted Wade is just running practice pace laps. Nobody in the way, all the downforce in the world. I'll hit my line perfect, and I am out of here, man. And he's been that way all night. We couldn't have expected anything else.
Beautiful looking car for Ted Wade, working that Ford back up the hill. Look at him lock up the brakes there for just a moment. And it looked like he might have been able to possibly turn the car around going into that first turn, hard left, and just kind of got on the brakes a little bit to make sure he didn't make that mistake as he makes that hard left-hand turn. I'm working now through the S's, working out to the part of the 1,600-foot elevation back straightaway. And again, on the straightaway here at COTA, continuing to open up that interval, 6-7 seconds now. Thomas and Pappas continue to be right there with one another, fighting for that second position. And all the while, it has, well, actually now Thomas has cleared Pappas for a second spot. I was mentioning now Tucker. Here comes the Memphis, Tennessee driver in the 99, looking inside of Pappas. Pappas goes off course. This will put him down to the podium spot in third and 99 there, Michael, going into that turn.
Yeah, Tucker up from 7th all the way to 3rd in a lap. So he has pushed the go pedal here. I still don't think they can make it. And as you said before, the cloud cover has now gave way to the sunshine. Bright sunshine, back to heating up the track, slip and sliding. It's just so many factors going in for what these drivers are having to deal with right now.
We saw massive cloud cover the last lap. Now the sun glaring back out over the racetrack here in sim time. And all the while, currently as it stands with now 12 laps to go, the leader is Ted Wade. There is the second place car, Thomas. Tucker is right there in third. Pappas is right there behind him, and so is Scruggs. And let's be honest with this scenario, as we approach closing in on 10 laps to go and halfway here in stage number 3 for their distance of the race, Michael McKinnon, it has been those top 5 cars the entire race in some shape or form, with the exception of maybe Scruggs falling back and then making an early pit stop and coming right back at the end of the stage. Those 5 cars have been in the top 5. And I got to give a plug to one of our NASRA 360 Racing Network broadcast colleagues, Hunter Parson from Greens Bay, Wisconsin in the 20 car. He has also had a solid run, at least in the top 10 in 6.
100%. Like I said, he hated this place at the beginning of the week. And we see Scruggs is on pit road, so he's pulled his card. He's going to play it right now. He's going to go for the undercut to see if he can make up time on Wade. Hope Wade makes a mistake. But as for Hunter, yes, he was not looking forward to this. He has obviously put in the work, and it's starting to show. He's been top 5, top 7 all night long, along with Kyle Hess. They've been there all night long.
The leader again, Wade, and it's still 6 seconds on Thomas, Tucker, Pappas, Parsons now. All these cars, there you see the 23 of Thomas looking under is going to be Tucker. This is for second spot. This is going on for closing in to the latter stages of this race, and what a phenomenal race it has been. You know, Michael, normally road course races or snooze fest for that matter, with the exception of what Ted Wade's done, picking them up and putting them down behind the leader, it's been fantastic competition.
Yeah, there's been lots of battles over and over again. We're seeing Thomas and Tucker really go. I see Steven pushing harder than I normally see him. He's missed a couple of arcs. He's went a little too straight through some corners, but he's still been able to hold off Tucker, which has got to make him feel real good because he knows Tucker's a ringer at these road courses.
The battle is for the number 2 spot. It is with Thomas in the lead. Tucker is trying to run him in. There you see on the telemetry in the last 5 laps, the interval, at least from lap number 25 to 26, where we stand, as right now these drivers are closing in on the finish with 10 laps to go when they come to the line next time by. Look at Thomas jumping over the turtles, and this allows now Tucker to close in. No, Tucker is going to commit to the pit lane. Here comes Tucker, the 99 out of Tennessee. Locks up the tires of that Ford GT as the Mustang 99 hits the pit lane for the money stop. Everyone else now stays on course. Medina is in a 10th, 11th. He will pit in car number 24. All the while, though, Hess is on the pit lane. Those cars have pitted, Michael, and we've got 10 laps to go. As now also Thomas has now cycled back to second. Pappas will go back to third is what I meant to say.
Yeah, this is what we talked about. You can't do the same thing as Wade and expect to beat him. So they're going to go for an undercut, use the good off these tires as much as they can to make up as much time as possible when he decides to pit, which I think they'll kind of pull his hand here. I think he'll probably have to come in, and I think it's going to pull Thomas's hand too. These two will probably pit on this lap right here. I'm just going to call it and say they will, even though Wade probably doesn't have to.
Going to say call his bluff, obviously. Now the question is, does he pit, Michael? Does Wade pit, even if it's just for tires and fuel, or not even tires, but just fuel? A stop and go.
I think you'll need tires. I do. I think you'll need them. I mean, he's got a big, giant gap. But I think you're going to want to take tires right here. I think everybody will, so why not? I would take tires. We'll see if he pits this time by. I'm interested to see if Scruggs and Tucker force his own hand here when he didn't really want to. This will be interesting to see.
This will be interesting to see if he will peel off and make the left-hand turn onto the pit lane, with now single digits coming up on the scoreboard whenever he arrives to Barney, the virtual iRacing flagman, and 9 laps to go. 10 laps to go now here at COTA with Wade the leader, and now the million-dollar question is, does he pit this time by? What will the strategy be? Will it be fuel only? Will it be a splash and go? Will it be tires and fuel? Will it be tires only? What will it be as Wade works his way now into what would be the entrance of the pit lane? Here he comes, the money stop for the leader in the deuce.
Yeah, let's stay with him here and see what he does if he decides to just fuel only. 2 tires, 4 tires. Of course, you want 4 tires on the road course, so I'm going to say he'll take tires. He had such a big gap. I think he'll still be able to maintain it. Scruggs might give him a challenge, though, by the time this is said and done. That'll bring Thomas as well. I thought he would have to. I just figured they'd have to. So
believe
big
it or
money
not,
move
they're
there by
following.
Tucker.
But Pappas and Thomas and Parsons, they're following what Wade did. They're following what Wade did. Wade came to the pits. They came right behind him and pitted also, Michael.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about. That Scruggs forced Tucker. Tucker forced these guys. I don't know why they wanted to stay out and go, but I would have came in probably a little sooner. Of course, lap 10 is what we talked about. So there you go. Everybody on kind of the same strategy, and that's not going to help them one bit. We see Scruggs got the gap down to 4 seconds before Wade was able to get back on the track. So it's very close.
That's right. Wade is still the leader. Scruggs is now 6-7 seconds back. Now, if they would have stayed on track, they would have passed Ted Wade for the lead, but I think also Ted Wade would have ran them down. However, though, Michael McKinnon, 2 tire stop and fuel for the machine Ford of Ted Wade in the number 2 car. He took on new right side tires. Left side tires are still the same here in stage 3 with under 10 laps to go.
That is very interesting with a dominant car. I guess he just has the confidence in his own abilities there. I would have took 4 and tried to give it everything I got, but that's just me, and that's probably why I don't win a lot of races.
You've won a time or two, though, haven't you?
Not on the NASRA series, I haven't.
Oh, man.
I've had 5 or 6 chances and choked every one of them, so they make fun of me every day in the chat group. Don't worry.
Well, don't forget, coming up tomorrow night, the NASRA 360 Racing Network will have coverage of the Round 2, Season 6 of the NASRA Triple M Pulling Truck Series. They will be at Pocono Raceway. Hunter Parsons, Michael McKinnon, I think, will be joining me if he can, and myself. I'll be filling in for,
Maybe
of course.
soon.
Yes, I'll be filling in for, of course, Mr. William Tiller, who is currently on vacation, and looking forward to covering the action for that tomorrow night. Coverage around 8:45 Eastern Time on the NASRA 360 Racing Network. But now we've got to settle this one here, Michael McKinnon, as all the while Ted Wade called their bluff, called their shot. Money stop. He is in P1 after exiting the pit lane in P1, entering in P1. This guy has just been dominated here in the number 2 car tonight at COTA.
You know, Wesley, we had an interesting development. Rhett Tucker is still on the pit road. I don't know if this is some sort of glitch going on with him and Haney or if something's went wrong, but he pitted from the 3rd position. He's still on pit road, and he's in 11th spot right now.
Yeah, there's something going
understand.
on with there's something going on with Rhett Tucker, the driver out of Memphis, Tennessee. Thank you for that update, helping us out there, Adam Flieger, letting us know what's going on. And yeah, this is I'm sorry, Cody, not our producer, letting us know what's going on. And this is definitely a surprising event, as Rhett Tucker's car was right there in the top 3 to the finish. Gotta wonder if maybe he's got a penalty or if he sustained a penalty. And Michael, I gotta ask you too, we haven't really talked about it much in this race tonight for the road course at COTA, but do they don't get a fast repair or anything, do they? What they have is what they have with their car.
Yeah, what they have is what they have. There is not a damage limit for road courses, so they can damage as much as possible as long as they don't make minimum speed. And he was obviously making that, so possibly a penalty? I'm not sure. It's just quite a development.
We'll have to definitely try to find the story on what's going on with the 99 of Tucker. No doubt about it, of course. Tucker, one of those dark horses that were beginning to climb and show his strengths down the stretch here at COTA for this finale of the Over the Top Designs Xfinity Series race at Circuit of the Americas. Well, there is the machine of the 86 of Hess. He's got a solid top 5. Parsons still in the number 6 spot. This is a great battle going on the racetrack, Michael. And man, I got to give props to Hess. Having a good run tonight, last Monday night at Homestead, obviously. And as I say that, I jinx him. The announcer jinx. He goes around. I was going to mention him. Good runs for him after being on his lid at Daytona in the truck race on Friday night.
Yeah, it looked like a little wheel hop. I don't think Parsons got to his rear end there and maybe just locked it up and sent it sideways. Unfortunate, but he was able to correct and put it back on the track.
7 laps to go. Now make it 6 remaining when they come to the line. There is Parsons' car. working off that final turn, coming to start finish. 7 laps remaining now for these drivers, by the way. Parsons has moved to the number 5 spot as he finally cleared around Hess's car in the number 86. It's all the while Ted Wade leading the way. There's Pappas's car in the 4th position, the High Rock Vodka Chevrolet. There's the leader working through the S's again, snaking through the corners. Wade in his own world. Scruggs 5 seconds back, calls his shot. He's looking for the checkered flag and sweeps all 3 stages if he can pull it off here tonight at COTA as well, Michael.
Yeah, just the greatest run. I mean, as good as you could possibly be here. I give kudos to Scruggs there. The undercut has picked him up 3 positions, so he's up to 2nd. I don't see anybody having anything for Mr. Wade right now. Smooth sailing, no pressure. Yeah, it looks like a big win for Ted Wade.
Finish of the race coming up down to the line. It will be 6 laps to go when they come back to start finish for the driver of Ted Wade. What a strong effort for this driver from Mineral Wells, West Virginia, from almost heaven, West Virginia, the number 2 car. He has had a strong run all day long into the night. And of course, as we have covered here tonight for the NASRA 360 Racing Network for the over-the-top designs Xfinity series on the car, what a drive for that number 2. Just sheer domination. I don't like to use that word lightly in broadcast, Michael McKinnon, but honestly, that is the only word to describe what he has done. Sheer domination tonight here at COTA as he's working off that final turn to the line and 6 laps to go here in the race.
Yeah, 100%, Wesley. It's nobody can get within 5 to 6 seconds of him. He's maintaining the gap. It's not overdriving the equipment. It's just been a dominating performance, as you said. Something you don't see a lot in these NASRA races is, somebody absolutely dominate. Usually get a lead change, 2 or 3. Not today. He is well on his way to victory number 1 on the season.
And I'll say something else as well. We saw that one multi-car accident there at the beginning of the race around lap number 5 or so. A couple of spins along the way, like Hess going around or something of that caliber. But for the most part, Michael, it's been a fairly clean race as far as with respecting the drivers and not having a lot of calamity either.
Yeah, it's been a great race. And I was always interested watching the handwork right there with Wade. The car looks completely stable. If you watch his hands, it's not. Back and forth and sawing on it, and just to make a lap at this place. I couldn't understate, or I should say overstate, more how difficult this track is to drive in a stock car.
Well, the final laps are upon us here. It'll be 5 laps to go when they come back to the line. The open hand from your flagman here at COTA as, again, Ted Wade. There you see his car. What a strong run. What an effort tonight for the driver of West Virginia. Scruggs in that number 2 position has now fell back close to 7 seconds. There you see the interval. The only way that I think Scruggs or Thomas or even Pappas can make an effort to run down Ted Wade is Ted's got to make his own mistake, Michael. He's got to either lock up the car, jump the cushion, jump the turtles, if you will, spin out, hit one of the walls, the Armco barriers, if you will, to put himself in a danger spot to losing the race. Right now, he has just sheerly been dominant. There you see the 2nd place car. There you see the leader again. He's coming to the line, and he will get 5 laps to go. By the way, we are being told by our officials from NASRA that Rhett Tucker was given the meatball flag, Michael McKinnon. 8 minutes of required damage repairs on the number 99. That is what happened to Rhett Tucker. That's why he's 3 laps down in the race.
Oh, how unfortunate. I didn't see that much damage on the car, but it must have just been in the right position to where now we don't call that. That's iRacing's call. Your car gets damaged enough, you have to take it in and fix it. So that's unfortunate. And let's give a shout out for Zach Talley and Kerry Trabue, Hank Caston, these guys. Okay, we're not showing them a lot on the screen tonight. They're all up front. But, man, they are battling out for top 10, staying on track, doing a great job. And you know they're probably hating every second of this. They're not road course guys, but just great run from all these guys.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, at one time, Caston's car was a couple of laps down, and he was able to get back on the lead lap, and now there's only 9 cars in the lead lap. And by the way, damage clock is done. Here comes Rhett Tucker, who sustained a meatball flag. The Memphis, Tennessee driver is back on track in 99. The RTR Ford. There you see him racing to the finish of the checkered flag. Play to the whistle blows, in the words of Jack Lingle, and we are Marshall for our West Virginia team. Ironically, a West Virginia driver out in front. Pardon the pun, Michael McKinnon. But yeah, somehow bring this race to the finish.
Well, full respect for something like Tucker right there. He had to sit and watch the guys go on by, and he was in contention for the win. And now he's going to try to pick up 3 spots if he can, get 3 more points. That's why you race it to the end. Something can always happen. You can get a couple more points. And full respect to Rhett for that. That's all we ask for, is come in and give it your best effort all the way green to checkers.
He's done that, and all the while it is now Wade continuing to lead the way in that number 2 machine. He works his way around the final turn here at COTA. He'll come back on the straightaway, and it is 4 laps to go now from the flag stand for the driver of the number 2, Wade. Now close to 6 seconds, the interval. He is gone as he climbs up that 600-foot climb into turn number 1. Nobody in his sights, Michael. No one is around him whatsoever.
No, and every driver on the track's feeling the same as him right now. Everything is spread out. Everything is pretty comfortable for these guys. They should be able to manage. And of course, I think they understand they're not going to catch Wade at this point. So manage your finish and take what you had tonight. This car has just been on rails. The crew, the practice, everything, they should be very proud of it.
What a performance for the driver of that number 2 as he's out in front. Hey, real quickly, we mentioned the top 10. Let's give you another through the field real fast, as there's really nothing much to talk about as we await the checkered flag. Ted Wade, the leader from Mineral Wells, West Virginia, sheer domination. He won the first 2 stages. He is in the lead. There's the second place man of Scruggs, Dustin Scruggs in the 11, back about 7 seconds. Back 12 seconds is, of course, the number 23 Swim Ford of Stephen Thomas. Pappas's car had a couple of scares, a time or two, really caught up in that crazy restart at the end of the caution at halfway, and he falls back to 4th and 5th, moving by a lap car of Codwell, by the way. Here is your 5th place car, the Cheesehead from Green Bay, Wisconsin, Hunter Parsons in the 20 machine. He has a pretty solid run going for him. Kyle Hess in the 86 machine from Memphis, doing well in the top 10. Talley, we mentioned them. Zach Talley in 7th in the number 30 car, working through the S's. There you see him right there. Kerry Trabue from Huntington Beach in the AG Compressor number 7 car, sits solidly in the top 10, along with Hank Caston in the number 36 machine. There's your top 10. By the way, he is the first car a lap down, along with Jose Medina. First car a lap down is what I meant to say, the 24. So there's your top 10. Cunningham, Codwell, Thornton, Tucker, multiple laps down. Haney, Duke, Barnett, and Mariani out of the race of the 18 that took the green here tonight at COTA. And 3 to go, Michael.
Yeah, and I think the whole field's saying, well, just hang on for 6 more minutes and this thing is done. Ted's just excited, right? He's just cruising. He's got the cruise control on. We think he's not battling, but that end car we had again, put it up again, Cody. Put the end car up for Ted right here. It looks so stable, but it's not. Let's watch his wheel. Back, forth, back, more.
Yeah,
this is how good he is at it.
This is on board with the driver again of Ted Wade, and thanks to Cody Knott, our producer for the NASCAR 360 Racing Network, for showing these awesome images of what's going on here for this drive for the number 2 of Ted Wade. And there you see him wheeling and dealing, and it's not a smooth ride by no means of the imagination, Michael.
No, he's still fighting a loose car. You know, he's got this gap.
look at
he's
that.
managing it. Oh, man. Woo. Put the gas down here and hope it holds.
Part of me, the one I just saw, made me think that he literally almost just spun the car around right there, but he just was fighting the steering wheel. And then look at him. This is the straightaway. This is that 1,600-foot straightaway. And there you see quickly back as he works his way to the carousel. Around to the bus stop of the racetrack here. Yeah, just back and forth. And you notice in he's also throttling up, and look at how fast he's also climbing in the gears also, Michael. He's quickly climbing into 4th, 5th, and 6th.
Yeah, well, that's what you need, right, to make the best pace. Some guys can't do it. I'm not real good at it coming off the corner. Some guys can do that. They can just hold on to a loose race car like nobody else. And that's exactly what he's doing. And think about this, folks. That's the best handling car going on right now. All these guys are fighting it, and Ted's just able to wrestle it down a little better.
He's got a ill-handling car, no doubt about it, as he works his way down to the final part of the corner here at COTA. He's going to come to the line. It will be 2 laps to go as he works through the Toyota restart zone. Crosses the line. Ted Wade, 2 remaining. This is less than 6 miles left in this race. And there is Wade again. What a performance. Header fire popping as he climbs the elevation into turn number 1. Got him sideways, the tires a little bit, working off that corner. 150-foot drop. Michael, that's something me and you were talking about. You were like, wow, Wesley, I didn't even know that. I knew about the 600-foot climb to go into turn 1, but I didn't realize that it dropped 150 feet to go into the S's of the racetrack.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of that until I got thinking about driving it. As you come down, I guess the perspective in the simulator doesn't look that much, but you do feel it because the car lightens up a lot as you come off. And then again, right here, very light car, down, up. It just makes you want to spin out every time. If you got your foot on the throttle, you're in trouble. You just got to feather it through those areas.
Holding on to it again, Ted Wade. Look at him working his way with this Ford. Solid drive for the driver of the number 2. Scruggs is in second, by the way. There he is. He's still within.
Oh.
He's still within he's within distance of Wade, but time's running out though, Michael.
Yeah, he's never let him get completely away. I mean, Dustin has done a fantastic job. You know, like I said, he's ran with us since the very inception of this league, and his improvement has just been astronomical. And I certainly didn't know he was this good at road courses, and I'm sorry I didn't give him a little bigger shout out at the beginning. He's doing a fantastic job. Thomas back there doing a great job. I knew Steven, he's always smooth. Him and Pappas have battled a lot, and he was able to gap him out about 10 seconds or so. So all these guys, I don't know what else to say.
Yeah,
it's really just working their butts off.
Exactly. I mean, we're pretty much ready to I think everybody else behind Wade is just saying, man, I wish this was the last lap, and I wish this race was over, because we've literally just got our butt kicked. And not taking anything away from their competition, but I mean, you look at the interval, you look at besides as the white flag is out, 1 more lap to go now, by the way, for Ted Wade. He has finally crossed start finish, climbing the hill to turn 1 on the final lap of this race now.
Ooh.
Final lap, and he almost overshot the corner going to turn 1. You don't want to do that there, Michael. Oh,
yeah,
no.
Very close to overshooting. Very wide right there. He'll give him a little time. Good thing he's got the gap. And one thing I want to say on the last lap here, you look at his car, beautiful paint job. That is put together by our sponsor, Over the Top Designs. Everybody, if you're on a sim, you want a paint job, you want a custom guitar, I think John does a few of those. Look up John Hedrick at Over the Top Designs, and he'll get you taken care of with all your needs in the sim, and possibly get you a custom guitar as well.
In addition to that, Over the Top Designs is also the title sponsor for the NASRA Xfinity Series. As right now, a great night for Over the Top Designs here tonight at COTA, as working their way around the final S's, working onto the part of the back straightaway, that long 1,600-foot straightaway to the finish. And again, what a performance for Ted Wade. He is looking to be the man to pick up the win here tonight at COTA Circuit of the Americas. Domination by the number 2. Scruggs still 9 seconds back. You see a little glimpse of his car, if you will, the front bumper, Michael McKinnon, as he worked into the corner there off the straightaway. And all the while, it's still nothing but the taillights for Scruggs on Wade's car.
Yeah, you know Scruggs is seeing him up above, and he's like, can I get a little bigger in the windshield? No, just not able to do it. Just can't quite get there. Makes you overdrive a little bit. Just a great run from Wade, great run from Dustin, Stephen Thomas, all these guys. I cannot tell the folks watching this how hard this is to do in a stock car. I don't care if it's a simulator, and I don't care if it's NASCAR heat. This is an incredibly hard place to run.
The old cliche that you can use, he can coast from here. He could actually be able to do that right now. He could literally cut his engine off and coast to the checkered flag. I don't think he's going to do it, though. As Ted Wade comes to the line, he wins here tonight for the NASRA Over the Top Designs Xfinity Series at Circuit of the Americas. Wade climbs the banking up into turn number 1 up the hill. Finally, second place of Scruggs crosses the line. Okay, Wade, what are you doing here? Now, I guess he's going to, yeah, he's going to cut some donuts here in front of the turn 1 stands here. I thought you had to make at least another lap, as the rest of the field is crossing the line, and that will do it. Congratulations to Ted Wade here tonight. Scruggs in second. Thomas will cross the line to finish in third. And again, the over-the-top designs number 2 at Mineral Wells, West Virginia, the Ford Mustang GT. Ted Wade, winner tonight, sheer dominator here at COTA for the NASRA Over-the-Top Design Xfinity Series. And a pretty darn good race at that, Michael McKinnon. Like I said, I know the leader was dominant up in the front, but definitely throughout the field, there was really good racing going on.
Yeah, there were some really good battles all the way through the field. Of course, we can't show everybody at home. It's such a large track. The battles were good. They were fierce for a little bit, but as soon as somebody makes a mistake, the other guy's able to pounce, drive away a little bit. And that's what we saw throughout the field all night long. But congratulations, Ted. Congratulations, Dustin, Stephen Thomas, Pappas on a great points night. It was just it was fun to call it with you, Wesley.
It was, man. I had a fun time. It was great to work with you again, Michael, in the booth. We've not really worked together since probably, I think I said Talladega of 2020, whenever we had the NASRA, the Triple M ARCA series or whatever it was, the ARCA program, along with the Triple M Pulling Truck Series. So, yeah, man, it's fun to be working with you guys again. It was an honor to fill in for, of course, our vacation and man, Mr. Will. Hopefully, Tyler, I'm sorry, filling in for William Tiller is what I was going to say. Michael, I enjoyed working with you tonight, buddy. And, of course, a great job by Ted Wade winning this event. Cody Knott, thanks for Cody stepping in and joining us on producing, filling in at the last minute for our producer that had his truck break down, Timothy Hammond. You're in our prayers to get back on the road, because I say this proudly, Michael McKinnon, I know you're a truck driver too. My dad's a truck driver, and I don't care what anybody says, and I don't want to make anybody mad in the chat box, but truckers drive America. The day that the trucks stop is the day America stops, and we thank you for what you do as well.
You got it. I'm happy to do it. Let's do a full field rundown here. Your winner will be Ted Wade tonight.
Yeah, Ted Wade's going to pick up the win. Yep, go ahead. Give us the rundown of the race there, Michael.
Yeah, finishing second will be Dustin Scruggs. Third, Phil Pappas. Fourth will be Hunter Parsons. Fifth, Kyle Hess. Sixth, Zach Talley. Seventh, Kerry Treview. Eighth, Hank Caston. Ninth, Stephen Thomas. Must have had a little problem on the final lap there. And rounding up your top 10 will be Jose Medina.
By the way, eight cars finished on the lead lap at the checkered flag, Michael, as it looks like Stephen Thomas and Jose Medina got back lap down again.
Yep. What do you think, Wesley? You think we ought to take a quick commercial break and then we can bring in the top 3 for interviews?
I think we can do that. Of course, it's Cunningham and the rest of the drivers, including Thornton, Codwell, Tucker, Haney, and Duke, Barnett, Murgiano. All those drivers finished in the 18 drivers to try to run here tonight at COTA. When we come back, we'll grab Wade and the other drivers. And this is, of course, our post-race wrap-up, NASRA 360 Racing Network from Circuit of the Americas with the over-the-top designs Xfinity Series. We wrap things up and grab our podium finishers next.
Alright, we're transitioning back.
Welcome back to coverage of the NASRA Racing Network, the NASRA 360 Racing Network. I'm Wesley Outland, filling in, of course, for Mr. William and Michael McKinnon alongside. And thanks to Cody not joining us, of course, on the production. We now get ready to have our post-race show, and we will grab in our third place finisher of the event when it is all said and done, the driver of the number 23, Stephen Thomas. I'll ask a question. Michael, you ask a question. We'll segue that to our sponsors for the drivers. And Stephen, a pretty quiet race for the win for Ted Wade, but for the most part, good racing in the back of the pack. You definitely made some noise there. Your thoughts of being on the podium in the number 3 spot, bud?
Man, the fact that I'm on the podium is pretty awesome tonight. I came into this race not only not wanting to really race this track tonight, but not thinking I would do that well. I was just hoping, honestly, for a top 5. I was going to be ecstatic tonight. But yeah, I thought I was going to finish second at one point. I don't know when or what kind of pit strategy Mr. Scruggs had to get out in front of me when I came out, but I'll take a third. Super happy for third.
Yeah, Steven, this is Michael here. We talked about Scruggs and Tucker, a lot of them. They jumped into pits before Wade trying to do an undercut. Did that kind of force your hand toward the end where you had to just come in the same time Wade did and just try to maintain your position on the track?
To be honest, I had all intentions to go in around 30. I thought I would be the early pit stop. I wanted to go in around lap 30, get some fresh tires, and just try to get a good run and make up some time. But yeah, like I said, I didn't realize they pit that early. And to be honest, tonight, unfortunately, I didn't have any teammates show up, so I was hooked up with Ted tonight on the radio, and me and him kind of planned that out to go in at the same time. So. Like I said, it worked out for him. Unfortunately, he didn't tell me everything. I guess he took 2 tires, I took 4. So I think that's how Dustin got a hold ahead of me as well. But yeah, I had all intentions on going in 30, and I thought I'd be one of the first ones to do it. So no, nobody really changed my strategy. It just kind of worked out that way.
You know, Stephen, we'll segue this into you and also thanking your sponsors here as well. But you mentioned teammates and not having them. Obviously, in so many NASRA broadcasts, we always mention that you need to have your wingman there, your teammates with you. How important is it to have your teammates on the road course also?
It's really important, I guess, if you're running pretty close. And I mean, like I said, the fact that me and Ted were running pretty close right there at the end to pit together and talk about when the leader was pitting and everything, that was also, that's, I mean, like you said, a wingman. Unfortunately, it wasn't my teammates, but yeah, it's important to have teammates and somebody to talk to the whole race. As far as I'm concerned, every race, no matter what track, man, just figuring out what everybody's strategies are and what else is going on, and even if they're in the back of the pack, what people's doing back there and stuff. So yeah, as far as I'm concerned, it's important to have teammates every race. Like I said, I've got some awesome teammates with swim, motorsports. Unfortunately, they're just going through some stuff for the first couple weeks of this season, and we'll all be back and working together for the rest of the season. Hopefully, starting next week.
Got any sponsors you want to thank?
Of course, I'd like to thank my team, Swim Motorsports. I'd like to thank Nazra and Brady and Michael and all of them that put all this stuff together from the get-go. I want to thank Over the Top Designs for sponsoring this series, Nazra 360 Racing Network, you guys at the booth. That's makes this stuff that much more fun. The fact that we can go back and watch it on YouTube and listen to you awesome guys talk about us, and everybody that's involved in here. I appreciate it.
There's the thoughts of Stephen Thomas, the Swim Motorsports team, number 23. He'll settle for the number 3 spot here tonight at the COTA event for the Over the Top Designs NASCAR Xfinity Series. Dustin Scruggs, the 11, will finish in the number 2 position, runner-up in this race. Man, strategy, trying to make a run in, trying to catch Wade. Your take of finishing second, and obviously he just had the car to beat, man.
Yeah, I mean there was no catching Ted. I mean, hey, a second place here without me crashing or spinning out, that was a win for me. I wasn't out there to compete with anybody. I don't do a lot of road courses. I just wanted to finish well, and I'm ecstatic about that.
Hey, Dustin, it's Michael here. Good to talk to you again. Been a long time. You've been with us since the very beginning, and I wished I would have known you were this good at road courses. I'd have called you out before the race. Just a tremendous run. Run us through your strategy there where you come in with about 11 to go. Is it just simply try and undercut? It did get you up from like 4th to 2nd, so it did work out a little bit. Was that kind of what you was thinking with the undercut there?
Now, I'm going to go back to the same thing I said a minute ago. All I was trying to do was stay away from those 3 knuckleheads up there trying to race. I was like, I'm just going to pit because I can't. I'm not trying to run like this. I just want to run my own race, and I figured one of them would end up taking each other out, and so I was just doing that to get clean air. That's all.
Well, it worked. You got second. In the words of Cal Naughton to Ricky Bobby, nothing wrong with silver. So obviously you got to be happy with that and carrying that momentum to go into Las Vegas next week. Going to be glad to be off the road course, right?
Absolutely, yeah. That's a relief. I mean, Vegas is so intense, but it's easier than this. So.
Well, Bud, before we let you go, I want you to thank your sponsors.
Yeah, of course, I got to thank my teammates there at Primary Racing, our main sponsor there, Ohana Mountain Farms down there in Georgia. Also, Primary Power Sports, best place to get any off-road equipment. So check them out, and just want to thank my team again for sticking it out through this road course. I think we had another good showing this week, and look forward to staying in first place, at least in the standings.
That's the runner-up of the number 11. That's Dustin Scruggs, another solid run for that driver. And now we go to victory lane here for the over-the-top designs NASCAR Xfinity Series for this event here tonight. In the over-the-top designs number 2, Ford picking up the victory out of Mineral Wells, West Virginia. Town I've been to very, very long time, for almost a decade or more. West Virginia Motor Speedway. Beautiful to see that place back up and running again. Ted Wade, congratulations to you, man. What a performance. Definitely nobody could catch that number 2 car. Only fitting that we're talking to you in victory lane.
Yeah, thanks, Wes. That was definitely a grueling race, man. I thought Dustin was going to have something for me there, and I kind of walked away from all them guys, surprisingly. I didn't expect that.
Hey, it's Michael here, Ted. I enjoyed watching that race a lot, trying to learn from what you do. We had a couple of in cars. Explain to the viewers just how loose these cars are, even when they look like you were doing nothing. I mean, your steering wheel back and forth through the S's. It was just incredible to see you hang on to that car.
Yeah, man. I mean, you can barely give it throttle. I know. I think you ran there before in the trucks, and it's
Yep.
a handful. You just gotta feather the throttle. You're shifting early. You're letting it coast a lot, and you're braking early and letting it roll through. I mean, it's a workout.
Ted, I got to ask you the question. Taking on that 2-tire stop for the money stop with fuel, what was the decision of doing that?
To try to make it out in front of those guys. I felt like if I would have took 4 tires, they would have got out in front of me, and I would have had to battle with them. And I think I might have got them, but I wasn't 100% sure, and I wouldn't want to risk it. So I figured to take the 2, and it got me, I think, about 5 seconds out in front of Dustin there.
Man, I want you to segue this into your sponsors. We got to get off the air. I will tell you that Mr. John from Over the Top Designs is in the broadcast booth. He's sending big kudos and congratulations to you, obviously, on the win. And yes, by the way, Michael, he does do guitars. So
I thought he
does
did.
custom guitars. So that's pretty damn cool. But Ted, man, before I do let you go, buddy, as I again segue to the sponsors. The restarts were very, very interesting. At the end of that stage 2, when everybody was bunched up, when Pappas and Thomas and Parsons and everybody was in your path, man, that had to have been some Scruggs as well. That had to have been some pretty exciting racing to hold them off. But man, as soon as you cleared them by at least a lap or so, you were gone.
Oh yeah, man. I was worried there with Pappas, I think it was. He got a good run on me there a couple times, and I was afraid he was going to dive bomb. So I tried to brake early and just let him go. And luckily, I was able to stay to the inside of him. And I knew if I get a second gap, I felt safe enough to run my line.
Hey, listen, sponsors, congratulations to you, Ted.
Yeah, man. Like you just mentioned, John at Over the Top Designs. He's a big supporter of mine. I'd like to thank him. Loose Lug Nuts Racing, Blanchard's Towing, Grant Tactical Hydrographic Printing. They're a new sponsor, hopped on this year. He does some pretty neat stuff. Also, Bruzy Racewear and Dan's Top Notch Heating and Cooling, and everybody over here at Nazareth. Thank you guys.
So when it's all said and done, Ted Wade from Mineral Wells, West Virginia, wins here tonight for the next round of round number 4 of the NASRA Over the Top Designs Xfinity Series. Again, picking up the win. Well, that's going to wrap things up here tonight. Michael McKinnon, your final take on everything. And like we said, a great race, not a lot going on in the front. Obviously, a great performance by, again, Ted Wade, but the races in the back were really, really entertaining. And we now prepare to get off the road course and next Thursday night get ready to go to Las Vegas.
Yeah, my final thoughts is just kind of a phew. I think that's everybody that was driving these cars. They're super glad to see this is over. Great battles, great car control out of these guys. And I'm really looking forward to Vegas. That's basically Talladega on 1.5 miles. Super exciting, and we'll bring it to you all live next Thursday night.
Yeah, let's take a look at the upcoming schedule. Of course, as we mentioned, next week, Las Vegas Motor Speedway. That'll kick off the month of February for the next race for the series. Of course, round number 5. No, my apologies. Yes, it is. It's round number 5 coming up at Vegas. Round 6 will be at the 9th at Darlington, Indianapolis on the 16th, and the February 23rd final race of February will be Richmond. Vegas, Darlington, Indianapolis, Richmond, the next 4 races coming up. As always, follow NASRA-racing.com for the official website, and of course, NASRA Racing on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And of course, check it out. Give us a subscription and a subscribe like at the NASRA 360 Racing Network. Well, we thank you again all for joining us. Of course, again, I'm Wesley Outland filling in for the vacationing Mr. William Tiller. Hopefully he'll be back next week. Always a fun time working with Michael McKinnon. The producer for this broadcast at last minute is Cody Knott. And again, hopefully Timothy Hammond can get back out on the road soon with his truck and driving America. Michael, fun time tonight, buddy. Enjoyed working with you.
Enjoyed you too, Wesley. Hope we can do it again soon.
It certainly was. Later. Yes, sir. Be safe on the road. It certainly has been a fun time for Brady LaBeouf and everybody at NASRA and the Over the Top Designs Xfinity Series. I'm Wesley Outland. Congratulations again to Mineral Wells, West Virginia. Ted Wade dominating tonight at Circuit of the Americas. Be good to one another. Keep on praying for America. God bless you all, and thank you for watching NASRA. Our next coverage is tomorrow night with the Triple M Pulling Trucks at Pocono.
All right, you guys are good. Oh yeah, I felt like the last thing took way forever. 2 hours and 5 is what we've been live for. 2 hours and 5.